Hey everybody, this is Andy Bennett with the CSS News Civil War Interpretive Center, back with another episode about food preservation techniques from the 19th century. We're talking about canning or jarring. In previous videos, I've talked about other preservation techniques. Canning and jarring is just a way of storing food. This is hot bath canning method is what we're going to end up. But let's go back to the great great grandfathers of this technology from the 19th century, way back. Some of the first things they did was just clay pots that they would put food in and cover with little stone discs. Eventually, that transformed into commercial made clay crocks. During the time of the American Revolution, just before the American Revolution, they'd use pig bladders or pig stomachs that they would stretch over their the crocks like cling wrap and let it dry and seal up. They're just trying to keep the insects and the mice and the bad air that they think that's making the food go bad. Problem with this is the pig bladder stomachs themselves. Mice are attracted to chew on it. Bugs chew on it. They get in there. If you didn't properly sterilize those bladders and stomachs, you're introducing bad bacteria. They don't understand bacteria is what's making the food go bad. You're introducing bad bacteria that's going to make the food decompose. One of the other ways is this method where you take hot beeswax, liquefied beeswax, you dip a piece of cloth in it, you put that on there, you mold it, you attach some thread and seal that up. Come around the Napoleonic era, just after American Revolution, the early 1800s. Nicolas Appert in France, Napoleon Bonaparte puts out a prize that whoever can produce safe food for his troops to eat. You remember his armies going to Egypt, Russia, Spain, is traveling far distances from his original in France. One of the things called with clay crock, Nicholas Alpert would put hot food in here. He would take a tin disc, he would put it over there and cover some beeswax. And once it didn't blow up from the methane gas from the rotting food, he would send to the army. So he won that award. But what he's doing is with that food that he's trying out is it's vacuum sealing. He puts the hot meals in there, the disc, the heat changing temperature, vacuum seals this together. The ones that were properly sealed and the food was the proper temperature to kill all the bacteria when he put it in there, they would be fine. The ones if the food was too low of a temperature like bacterial growth or it didn't seal good, they're going to blow up. But from this developed the water seal jar. As you see, there's a little groove in here. You could put what you're going to store in there. Take a little tin disc or a piece of stone or whatever, put it there, and you could put water in there. And if any gases start bubbling up, you would bubble up the water, and you would know something's wrong. Went in there, the food's bad, you can throw it out. But the food that would stay preserved are those foods that in which you've already created a hostile environment for bad bacteria to make food go bad. That bacteria does not like salty conditions, really sugary conditions, really acidic conditions. So more of those you can combine together to keep food preserved. The food that's in jars that are hot bath can method, the easiest form of canning you can do at home. What you're doing like that is using Mason's invention. Mason was a tinsmith. He wasn't a glass blower. That's why you have the patent 1858 Mason is because he had other people make the glass for him. So he just required them to put the patent dates on the jars. The Ball brothers that are still around today making glass jars. Way his system works is whatever food you're putting in there still needs to be either high acid, high salt, high sugar. Is you're vacuum sealing it too. You come up with a tin disc with gutta percha, which is a form of rubber, would be on the tin disc. You're putting your food in there. In the hot bath method, you're putting that on there. You're screwing it down, the lid on the jar, tight. Then you're submerging it under hot water. And what you're doing is it's softening up that rubber and temperature difference between what's in the jar and the water around it causes the vacuum seals the jar. Due to the high acid content, high salt content, and these being tin untreated discs, you're going to develop, they're going to eventually start eating through the lid. So you saw fabric on jars. You still sometimes see that at jams and jellies and stuff you buy at like farmers markets and things. The reason the cloth was originally there is the expense in making this is the rings, the machinery to stamp out and make this ring that go on there is the most expensive thing. So what you do is once it's sealed, you're going to take the ring off, you can clean it up, keep it safe. The fabric on there is going to warn you if you have a broken seal, you're going to see moisture or insects going to be attracted to it. So you're checking your pantry, all of a sudden we have a leak, we need to go on and use that food before bugs or insects or things get inside of it, or it goes stale. So you go on and use that. That's why you see fabric on these jars. This system of vacuum sealing with hot bath. Foods that we need, like we canned food today, canned meats, your canned spaghettis and soups and things like that, do not have enough acid in them, do not have enough salt in them to preserve them by themselves. So they have to be high pressure canned. And until the advent of gas or electric stoves and miniaturized check valves on pressure cookers, it was dangerous. Pressure cookers existed in colonial times, but they were dangerous, would blow up. They industrialized canned during the American Civil War all kinds of meats and things because they have large check valves for large steam engines, like the engine on the CSS Neuse and other trains. They have some check valves in place, large check valves that allow to keep pressure from building up to explosive levels in boilers. They could do that big factory setting, but you couldn't do it at home really until later on, more towards 1900. So that's a little bit of history of jarring and canning. Hope you're enjoying these videos. Check out Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube page for other videos.